And good morning on Wednesday, August 16th. It's episode 268 of the 359 podcast. My name is BVG, and we got a full house today. In the house, we've got Alfred Ng, Roger Cheng, and Dara Kerr is back with us. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Not doing it again.
Okay, all right.
Once is enough.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm not backing that.
And hello to Periscope. We're back on Periscope.
Hey, Periscope.
What up?
What up?
Why aren't we on Meerkat?
Stop, Alfred. All right, we're gonna be talking about that's Ben Rubin's namesake. Like that's it's Ben's buddy.
I'm sticking up for him.
I know. All right, so we're gonna be talking about Apple reportedly making a big investment into Hollywood. Google helping you with your allergies with this pollen detector, which
That's
actually
great.
I
don't have allergies, but yes.
You're a lucky man. And lastly, we'll be talking about our own colleague Terry Collins' profile on the Kapoor Center for Social Impact and how they're making it easier for women and underrepresented minorities to start their own businesses. So you actually got to meet them,
Yeah.
Kapoors themselves, so you'll be able to share some insight there. So, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and we'll get to them in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
And here we go in 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Cheng,
I'm Alfred Ng.
and with us is special guest Dara Kerr.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. Good
So-
to be here. Sorry.
Nope. Apple is getting serious about Hollywood. The company is reportedly set to spend $1 billion over the next year to fund new shows. They could definitely use the help because right now all they've got is Carpool Karaoke and Planet of the Apps.
Those are all fantastic shows, by the way. Great ratings, great reviews. Will.i.am doesn't make a fool of himself on the show, and the apps aren't terrible.
But that said, that maybe their early starts are a little bit awkward, but they did hire some TV execs from Sony, and $1 billion. That's a lot of money to throw at a couple good shows, right?
I mean, Netflix's budget is like $7 billion. So
That said, they also
That's their
create
forte, yeah.
tons
Yeah.
of shows, right? They seemingly have like a new show every week.
It's almost too many shows.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to stagger them out a little bit.
I mean, if they follow the formula, though, and create like original serialized content, then maybe, Apple will have a hit on its hands. But right now, what they've been doing is like, it's just going to be a bunch of reality shows, which makes no sense to me.
Well, look, I think I'm looking at it from their perspective. It's probably, this was them dipping their toes in the water. These shows are probably not that expensive to produce. But $1 billion, I mean, that's like Game of Thrones money, right?
Do you think that it'll be available off of Apple TV, though, or do you think it'll be an Apple TV exclusive?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. There's some of the original stuff, I imagine they're going to try to keep exclusive, right?
I feel like if they spend all this money on it, though, and they only make it available on Apple TV, that it's really not going to go anywhere.
That's true.
People are
True.
like the whole nature of these shows on Netflix. Like, did you watch this? And
Right.
then, yes, because I have Netflix, because it only costs me $10 a month. Apple TV does not have.
Well,
that,
it's Apple
like-
Music.
Oh, okay.
So you actually watch these shows through Apple Music. So they do have, I forget how many subscribers now. I mean, in the millions. But they could theoretically license the shows overseas, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's how Netflix does it for some of their stuff. Next up, Google fighting pollen.
Yeah, so if you have allergies, this tool seems like it's going to be really useful for you, where when you look up a location on Google, it'll tell you the weather forecast there, but now they're adding in a new feature that basically tells you what the pollen forecast is going to be like, too.
Nice.
So, if you see that there's a lot of pollen in the area and you know that you have allergies, either get your medicine out or just don't go there.
Yeah, no, I'm someone who suffers from allergies and high pollen counts. That's I never thought to really Google it, so it's kind of nice that they're just going to package it all into a single search.
Yeah, Google's been doing that for a lot of things when you just like small things to add on. So they'll tell you, if I look up like a restaurant, it'll tell me how many people are there at the moment, or like what times it gets the most packed and what times it's the most empty. And that's not me even looking that up like specifically. That's just me looking up the location of it. So they've been adding all these small things. Pollen's definitely like one that I didn't really consider because I don't really have allergies. But
Right.
yeah.
Totally useful, though. All right, lastly, Terry Collins has a nice profile on the Kapoor Center for Social Impact and Kapoor Capital, the venture capital fund that makes it easier for women and underrepresented people of color to start new businesses. Dara, you've actually met with the Kapoors, right? Like
Yeah.
you hung out with them?
I went to one of their events where it was a camp where they had young adults learning how to code, all from Oakland. They're based in Oakland.
Okay.
And it was really cool. I must say, it was the real deal. It wasn't just some, smoke and mirrors type of stuff. They're really doing what they say they're doing and trying to create a pipeline.
I mean, it seems really helpful just based on the sheer statistics of how little minorities and women there are as far as successful entrepreneurs.
Right.
And VC is the biggest roadblock to that.
Right, and there are the clear stats that show that even women who do obtain funding generally obtain less funding than their male counterparts. So it's kind of, it's nice to see that there is a fund that's actually actively looking to diversify the perspectives out there.
Yeah, they're a really interesting investment group. They also were the first investors to criticize Uber. They're investors in Uber, and they were the first ones when everything hit the fan.
Right.
They were the first ones to criticize Uber for the toxic
Are
environment.
they still shareholders in Uber? Or?
They are.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
They're one of the early investors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have some big profile companies in their portfolio, and at the same time, they're trying to build this pipeline for women and minorities.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, for those stories and more, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred Ng.
I'm Dara Kerr.
Thanks for listening.
Roger, what kind of allergies do you have?
A myriad of allergies.
A myriad.
I'm allergic to our office AC system. I am allergic to pollen, allergic to grass,
Grass?
allergic to certain kinds of
common.
fruit, tomatoes, watermelon.
Wow.
melons.
So would you
Just
not
allergic to everything.
go somewhere? Say you look up a place and then you see the pollen report. Would you be like, oh, let's cancel that trip?
Just take some
No,
Claritin.
yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what I would do. I'd probably take allergy meds, although it usually takes a few hours for that stuff to kick in. If it was a long road trip and it was planned out,
Yeah.
and I did a Google search and the pollen
I mean-
count was high, I wouldn't cancel the trip. I'd be like, oh, screw this.
What if it was like going to the park for the?
Yeah, I'd probably
after?
avoid it. I'd probably go somewhere else. Yeah.
But I feel like
I
a
think that-
park, you don't need a forecast to know how much pollen is going to be at the park. But I
Well,
feel
if
like,
it's in another area, like another town over or something.
I feel like it's like an umbrella moment kind of thing though, where when you look at the weather for the day, you just want to know what the temperature is, but then out of nowhere it's oh, it's raining, and then you're planning
yeah.
if you were
Yeah.
planning a picnic, you would probably cancel it when you're seeing that it's going to rain today.
right.
I feel like the pollen kind of indicator is kind of the same thing, where it's oh, there's gonna be a bunch of pollen there. I don't know if I want to go. I feel like it's the same rain thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, definitely. I mean, again, if it was a big trip planned and I did a Google search and it's pollen counts high, I wouldn't cancel for it. I would probably take Claritin and tough it
Or
out.
just relocate.
Or if it
like
was a thing that you planned for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So should we speculate on what series that Apple's going to bring to the table here? Because
don't know.
Danny Green's got a great prediction.
Ooh, what is Danny Green's prediction? Hey, what's up, Danny?
So Siri and The Rock might have a series?
Oh,
terrible.
God. Wasn't that just a giant commercial?
Well, that would be their entire $1 billion budget.
Yeah.
On The Rock.
Because The Rock is that expensive. And he's worth it, damn it. Because he's magnificent. Although that commercial was terrible. So,
I didn't even see it. What happened?
It's Dwayne Johnson going about his day and using Siri to
yeah.
help him out.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's in outer space, and he says, Siri, take a selfie, and it does it.
Which, by the
There's
way,
not
wouldn't
even-
work realistically because, it's not like he can talk in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, how can Siri make noises when there's nobody can hear you in space, even if you are Siri?
All right, Mr. Wizard.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Wait, what other shows are we going to see?
That's the thing we
Yeah.
don't know yet. This was
No, let's
this-
speculate.
Obviously nothing branded, right? They couldn't take a Game of Thrones and port it over to Apple. But it'd have to be, imagine they'd want to do something ambitious like that, right? Netflix had, House
Game
of
of
Cards.
Thrones with Westworld, they're all robots now, and they fight for each other for the
Ooh.
flesh throne.
Oh.
That sounds pretty,
It's like the reverse, because it's not like the Iron Throne, because they're all made of iron.
oh.
Robots aren't made of iron.
What
too
these
heavy.
are in this series, they
No,
are.
they're like polyurethane or something.
So wait, you don't think any more reality TV shows?
I mean,
I
I
hope
think
not.
that's
I
easy,
think
though.
they're gonna do it.
It's easy. I think if they wanted,
It's cheap.
the report said that, the $1 billion was enough to fund 10 shows, or as many as 10 shows. So that's, if you just do the math, right, it's $100 million per show. That's way more than you need for a reality show. That's
Will.i.am has a dance contest. It's basically a ripoff of So You Think You Can Dance, but it's with the video game Just Dance.
That's
and
the thing.
It's,
If they
it's
had
hosted by will.i.am.
if they were just making reality shows with $1 billion, they could make like 100 of these shows, right? Like,
Yeah.
like $1 billion is enough to get you like House of Card type caliber shows, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
1 or 2, like, or 3. Like, I forget how much Game of Thrones costs. I mean, Game of Thrones is kind of crazy. I
But
think
it's extra crazy because of the whole set business.
yes, I mean that show is
Yeah.
extra expensive.
But House of Cards.
Yeah.
Isn't that why was it what show just got canceled? The one from the Wachowskis?
The Matrix.
No, there was was it a show on Netflix? Help me out, chat.
Sense8. Yeah,
And
Sense8 was too
because of the
expensive.
overhead.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, Apple's got money coming out their ears.
Apple's set to make $45 to $46 billion in revenue just next quarter alone. So $1 billion is like nothing. That's
So what you're
literally
saying is they should
couch.
invest more so we could get higher quality programming.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow's health show.
No,
about
get
Goop.
out. Get out.
Goop. The Goop experience. I would not. Oh my god, I would so not watch that.
So we've got the Datch back in the chat. He says, "What do people think of the fact that we can no longer get entertainment content from one place? Maybe I'm nostalgic for the old days of everything being somewhere on TV." And I see your point, but even that wasn't really the case because remember you had different tiers of cable packages,
Right. Although-
or you could just have the antenna and then you got nothing.
I will say
and-
he brings up a good point because we've been pushing and advocating for a la carte distribution model for channels, right? Paying for the content you want, and now we kind of have that, and it's like way more expensive than actually a traditional cable model because you've got Netflix, Hulu, YouTube,
That's what I was saying. Is
Right,
that
like-
we've kind of
HBO
CBS,
Go.
reap the
HBO Go.
Yeah.
reap what we sow, where we
Right.
beg for the a la carte, and they're like, okay, but on our terms, and now
And
you're
it's like
paying.
way more expensive. Yeah.
Well, it can be if you pile it up, but I do Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and that.
That's
Well-
like $60, isn't it?
Well,
Right.
at,
a year. That's
Well, no,
Amazon's
Amazon's
part of the
annual.
yeah. It's part of Prime.
so
it's-
there's lots of reasons to stick with that.
Yeah.
I don't even use the video that much, but between Netflix, Hulu, that's about 16, 17 bucks a month.
Yeah.
That's
And-
why Amazon's like the only one that I have because it comes as part of a package kind of thing. If you asked for, Amazon a la carte, I don't know how many people would be on Amazon. Like
They do
TV.
offer it actually.
Huh.
I don't know how many people.
I don't know how many
actually
people
take
are
them
on
up
it though. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way with Amazon. Like I cannot live without my Prime subscription, but like the video stuff, yeah, you can, if they all of a sudden killed it tomorrow, I wouldn't. Really be
It
heartbroken.
wouldn't really matter that much.
But
to
the
me.
thing that's good about Amazon, I find, is that if you want to watch a movie, they have almost every movie, and you can rent them for.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the rental thing built in is a nice perk.
Yeah, super
That's true.
nice.
Instead of
do-
like jumping back and forth between Netflix to iTunes to whatever.
Yeah, or just waiting for what's new on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
I
Which
think going-
tends to not pay off these days.
I think going back to Datcher's point though, like they're pretty much all like the same. I mean, obviously Amazon and Netflix have their own exclusives, and if you want it, then you can subscribe to their services. But I mean, I enjoy having like all these different platforms where I can pick what I want. I kind of look
Well,
at
I mean,
it.
they're not all the same though. Like you've got these kind of huge platforms like Netflix and Amazon, but then now you've got a carving out of different channels, right?
Yeah.
You've got CBS, you've got HBO, Showtime,
Yeah.
which full disclosure, CBS and Showtime are part of CBS, which is our parent company. But now you've got Disney considering their own breakaway.
Not
service,
even
and-
considering it's
Oh,
happening.
they're
Yeah.
doing it,
But there
so-
are also other side channels we constantly forget, like Crackle and Epix.
right. But no one
Yes.
watches Crackle.
Comedians and
Crackle's
cars getting
got-
coffee.
That's the only show on
Crackles.com.
Crackle worth watching. Is
False.
comedians.
The Critic.
Also, Seinfeld is on.
Well, that's
Crackle.
And
an
the
old
real
That's an
Ghostbusters.
old show. I mean, I'm talking about
And
original
News
programming.
Radio.
Well, I have the DVDs of News Radio, so I watched that.
You and I
on
have
my
had
own.
this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
DVDs.
Shut up.
Are
Like
those
a
the
flash
digital
drive?
video discs?
Those were high tech once upon a time, right?
Better than beta. Not really, actually.
Yeah, not
Beta's
much.
best. Yeah. Anyway.
No, but somebody that I was following some thread on Twitter where they were making a point after Disney was all, we're gonna make our own streaming service with Blackjack and, but basically it was
They're
like
like, what?
It's a Futurama reference.
Oh, okay.
But the idea was
I got it.
The idea was, if you do this, you're only gonna drive people back to piracy because you're once again making it hard for people to get all the content that they want.
I mean, would it be better, though, if every network just did their own thing? Do we really want to go down that route where you're paying like $1 for this channel, $1 for this channel, $1?
I mean,
Would
a
that be
buck.
better?
I feel like it'd be fair if it were a buck,
It-
but
it
they're,
never
they're
would
putting
be.
it
it would be like
$10 to
$10 a
$15.
month. Yeah.
I mean,
And that's
just,
where we're heading.
I'm looking at like the music industry as like a good case study of it, where like you look at how like Jay-Z was going, had Tidal, and then he had all these exclusives on Tidal, and then Kanye West, when he put his album The Life of Pablo out on Tidal and not on Spotify, it was the most pirated album like that year.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it just becomes
Yeah.
one of those things where if you're gonna make it hard for me to get this, even though I already pay for something else that I should be able to get this on, I'm just gonna pirate
But I wonder
it.
what the kind of cost benefit of that is. Like, if for Disney, for example, I can imagine if they load up their channel with lots of cartoons, all their movies and whatever.
Yeah.
Parents are gonna like line up to sign up for that.
They
Right,
already
because I
have
mean,
YouTube
there's
Kids.
there's
They already
YouTube
have
Kids.
YouTube Kids though.
There's Netflix.
Yeah, but for
Doesn't
like
Netflix do a kids
Disney,
thing too.
No, but
Yes.
there's a difference. If that kid is into Disney stuff,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? You can't go to YouTube for that stuff.
Pirate it, yo.
They're just counting
Parents don't have time to pirate stuff.
money. Really? Last time I checked.
All right.
Apparently, pirating is time consuming.
It's, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pirate, so I wouldn't know.
The mantra I live by is give me an excuse to pay for it. If you make me jump through too many hoops, it's too much of a pain in the butt, then
Right.
I know other ways. And I'm not.
But I
that
feel like
sounds like a
we're-
threat.
No, but I do feel like we are
I have
kind of
many ways
we're
to
kind of
acquire
getting
your show.
we're definitely getting to that point though, because I feel like as a consumer we had a tolerance for a couple of these. Like the early guys who are kind of out there with their own services. Like, all right, I'll pay the extra $10, but then if you've got like 15 channels with their own services, then you're like, well, this is just terrible.
Yeah, it would be kind of a pain in the butt. Imagine Sagi brings up a good point. He's asking, will these shows actually draw people into Apple Music? Is that going to be the key? House of Cards helped draw some people into Netflix, and they outbid HBO for that show.
Yeah.
Are they just going to self-serve that pre-existing installed loyalist sheeple audience, or
I mean,
are they
I-
going to actually draw people in with this?
I mean, I can't really speak for like what their strategy is, but I mean the idea is they have a large enough base of paying subscribers now that like they could technically generate enough buzz from one of their shows that it might cause
Yeah.
people to sign up for the service.
Yeah, but it's different because they're the ones funding it themselves. They got their like large base from like Apple Music, like wow, off the music. But that was because they had these exclusives where Chance the Rapper's album was exclusively on it for like a few days before, where
Right.
they put like I think they paid him like $3 million for that. Frank Ocean's album, which was like highly anticipated, they paid him like a certain amount of money. I don't know how much, but for the exclusives of that before it went on Spotify or anything else like that. I don't think they can do that for TV shows because they're going to be the ones that have to produce it and put it together and all this stuff. And it's
well,
not
that's
gonna
the thing though; they have full control, so they can keep it exclusive for as long as they want.
It'd be like I'm just making the parallel from like music to TV with like Frank Ocean and Chance the Rapper. It'd be like if they got rights to Game of Thrones like 10 days before like it released to everybody else.
I don't think that's
kinda.
how they would do it.
No, but I'm saying like that's what the parallel would be to build up like their fan base for TV shows, and that's not how they're going to do it because there's no chance that they're going to be like. That's what I'm saying. It's so different
it
for
needs
TV.
to have that public.
Yeah,
But that's the thing,
Like,
like
everyone needs to
for,
see it.
For House of Cards, I mean, that was exclusive to Netflix, right? Like,
still
had
is,
to be,
isn't it?
Yeah, you have to be.
But
you-
they've released it on DVD as well.
Well, no, but after the fact. But like initially, when that show drew buzz, like that got people interested into Netflix or
But-
had them hooked into and staying on Netflix.
I guess like
And just want to note, Apple Music has 27 million paying subscribers. So that right there
that's
is
already more than
a-
Spotify.
Yeah, that's a massive That's not more than
I thought it was.
But are they
No,
going to?
Spotify is more.
So if you're
Paying?
already in Apple Music, are you going to get the service? Or do you pay an extra premium for the video?
I'm not entirely sure. I think Apple Music subscribers now get carpool karaoke.
Do they?
Yeah, and
I don't.
Battle of the Apps, I believe.
like I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but you can watch it.
One more good question from Razor2048. Oh, excuse me, from Josh Boyda. Do you have to have Apple products to watch these shows, or perhaps can you just watch it, I'm assuming, like on an app that you install on a
Believe
third-party
Apple
You can
box?
watch it
Music
through
is-
Apple Music.
Apple
right?
Music is an Android app too now, I think, right?
I haven't
Right.
gotten it for Android. I know I have Apple Music on my iPhone. I don't.
Right.
I don't know why I would get Apple Music.
But you'd have to,
on my Android.
obviously you're going to use an Apple Avenue, but I don't
Right.
think they would be dumb enough to tether it to hardware.
No,
They really
I
shouldn't
think
be,
they
no.
shouldn't.
I mean, yeah, isn't Apple Music like a Roku channel too or something?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should have had Cats come in.
I know.
We'll get Cats back on soon. I think that's about it for today. That was really good conversation. Interesting to see where this is all going to go. But you wanna wrap
man.
it up?
No, thanks again for your comments and questions. Always appreciate it. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, and Google Play Music.
And CNET.
Stop being Ben. See you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Are we still on Periscope? Yeah, we are.
And Periscope.